Mike.
Michael McKee from Bloomberg Television and Radio. Do you have any concerns that equity markets are or are close to being overvalued at this point?
You know, we don't look at any one asset price and say, hey, that's wrong. You know, it's not our job to do that. We look at the overall financial system, and we ask whether it's stable, whether it could withstand shocks, right? So, you know, banks are well capitalized, while some households are clearly under stress. In the aggregate, you know, households are in good shape financially, relatively manageable levels of debt. At the lower income spectrum, you are seeing rising defaults, particularly around subprime auto, but nonetheless, in the aggregate, pretty good. You don't see too much leverage in the banking system or the financial system. It's a mixed picture, but it's not an overly troubling picture. And again, I'm not. It's not appropriate. You know, we don't set asset prices. Markets do that.
Well, you must be well aware that by lowering interest rates, you're contributing to additional asset price increases. And I wonder how you balance the idea that lowering rates would help the labor market with the reality that it seems more likely to be stimulating increased investment in AI, which is the rationale for thousands of job cuts that have been announced in the last few weeks.
Yeah, I don't think interest rates are an important part of the AI of the data center story. I think, you know, people think they're great economics in building these data centers, and they're making a lot of money building them, and they think they have very high present value and all that sort of thing. It's not really about. It's not you know, about 25 basis points here or there. You know, we use our tools to support the labor market and to create price stability. That's what we do. That's our two jobs, right? So we're here to, by lowering rates at the margin, that will support demand, and that will support more hiring. And that's why we do it. Now, no 25 basis point or even 50 basis point hike is going to be a dispositive thing, but ultimately, you know, lower rates will support more demand, and that'll support hiring over time. And of course, we also have to be careful about this, which is what we've been doing, because we know where inflation is, and we know that, you know, I've told you the story. It's a complicated story, but this is the best assessment that we can make. But you know, because there's uncertainty around inflation and the path ahead for inflation, that's why we're going. That's why the pace we're going has been a careful one.
Victoria.